The Prime Minister has just endured a grueling 45-minute series of interviews on local BBC radio stations, leaving listeners across the country with the impression that he struggled to address key questions. This annual tradition allows Prime Ministers to engage with regional audiences, bypassing the Westminster-centric focus of national broadcasters. However, it's not always a smooth ride. Liz Truss's infamous appearances on local stations in 2022 proved that these hosts are anything but pushovers. Today, Sir Keir Starmer appeared on 6 local BBC stations starting at 11:15 a.m., covering Merseyside, Lincolnshire, the West Midlands, Norfolk, Kent, and Bristol. Each segment, lasting about 7 to 8 minutes, saw the Prime Minister sparring with interviewers and grappling with hard-hitting questions, often accompanied by harsh testimonies from local voters about the impact of his policies. On BBC Merseyside, the tension was palpable. When asked about the morning's energy price cap hike, Sir Keir diverted to discuss the reintroduction of ASBOs. Host Tony Snell swiftly interrupted, calling him out for veering off topic. He also faced tough questions about the government's own projections, showing that 50,000 pensioners would be pushed into relative poverty due to cuts to the winter fuel allowance. Accused of picking a fight with pensioners, the Prime Minister admitted he had never personally struggled to pay utility bills, a comment likely to alienate listeners facing steep energy costs. Over on BBC Lincolnshire, Sir Keir was greeted with a scathing opening question. Do you have a problem with Lincolnshire? Have the people of Lincolnshire upset you in any way? Because you seem to have upset an awful lot of people in the county since you were elected back in July. Sounding defensive, the Prime Minister replied, No, I've got absolutely nothing against Lincolnshire. It's an absolutely fantastic county. An underappreciated county. But the pressure didn't let up. Presenter Sean Dunderdale questioned Sir Keir about his presence at the G20 in Rio de Janeiro while Lincolnshire farmers protested the government's planned inheritance tax hikes. In response to one concerned farmer, the Prime Minister suggested they write to him directly with details about their farm so his team could review their figures, a proposal that risks overwhelming his office if widely taken up. On BBC West Midlands, the PM faced sharp criticism over Labour's handling of Birmingham City Council, which recently declared financial difficulties. Presenter Kath Stanksisin pressed him on whether the council had failed its voters, asking bluntly, should the government be doing more here? When Sir Keir pivoted to discussing antisocial behaviour, Stanksisin interrupted, reminding him, we're not talking about those issues. One listener's comment, read live on air, struck a nerve. I can't remember Sir Keir promising to terrify and freeze to death the elderly in his manifesto. The PM stumbled over his response, trying to justify his policies. Similar criticisms echoed across Norfolk, Kent, and Bristol. Outrage over the so-called tractor tax and winter fuel allowance cuts dominated the discussions, leaving the Prime Minister with little room to escape the backlash. With this year's challenging media round complete, Sir Keir will no doubt be relieved to have a break from local radio scrutiny. Whether 2025's interviews prove any kinder remains to be seen.